Hi everyone, it's great to see you. I am here in the kitchen. It is actually dark outside now. It gets dark so early. It's very difficult for us gardeners. But I am kept company by many very adorable lemon cypress trees. Aren't these so cute? So these do not look like your regular lemon cypress trees because these are called Grump trees and currently are being sold at Trader Joe's. Well, I was so thrilled to find these. This lemon cypress tree I picked up at a local nursery recently. I paid $25 for this one, which is about the going rate. It's, not too big, but a decent size. I've seen lots of people make these into topiaries. I tend to leave them like this. But at Trader Joe's, they have taken these same lemon cypress trees, wrapped them in this ribbon, added a dangling ornament that sort of makes them arch to the side, and here we have what looks like our Dr. Seuss tree from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, and this, sure enough, in this adorable little bag. So my thought was, if this one is $9.95 and this is $25, I should get some of these and see if I can straighten them up, keep them alive until spring. A couple years ago, I made the most beautiful window boxes with lemon cypress trees in them, and I would love to do that again. At $25 a lemon cypress tree, and you're putting 3 or 4 in a window box, that adds up pretty quickly. So I think that this is a great option. So run to your local Trader Joe's. Maybe give them a call first and see if they have in their Grump trees. So the first thing I'm going to do is to take off our little ornaments here, and these do feel like they are glass, so I'm going to put them here where they can't roll off and get played with by the kittens. And then the ribbon is just sort of tucked in around the top, so I didn't even have to do anything to get this off. Just unwrap it, and then when we get down the bottom, once again, it's just sort of tucked in and then clipped. So very easy to take off. And now we still sort of have a bend to it. I'm going to gently bend, and Floof, look at how nice that comes out. Oh, I'm so thrilled. Now, because I wanted to know what was in these bags, I did take one apart. Here's my Grump tree. Okay. And in the bag, it is like a plastic baggie that sits in the burlap. So if I water this, it won't go through. I wanted to make sure. That's really what I was checking here. So I'm gonna unclip this ribbon here. And I think for the Christmas season, I'm gonna leave them in these cute little red bags. Then I know that the area underneath is protected from the water. And after we get through Christmas, I will take those off. There we go. Oh, and you know how lemon cypress trees are. As you touch them, they just have the most beautiful lemony scent. Now, there are actually a few different varieties of lemon cypress trees. So this lemon cypress most likely is the smaller dwarf variety, Goldcrest. Goldcrest, if you live in zone 7 to 10, you can plant it outside and they do wonderfully. A Goldcrest lemon cypress gets to be about 6 to 8 feet tall to maybe 3 feet wide. So it stays relatively small, and those are usually the ones that are sold to people. They're pretty quick growers, and actually they do very well in poor soil. They recommend that you don't feed your lemon cypress because if you do, they grow even faster on top and the roots can't keep up with them. And so if you live in a windy area and these are planted in the ground, there's a good chance the wind is going to knock them over. So you purposely don't feed your lemon cypress trees, and you put them in poor soil so that the roots have time to keep up with the top part of the growth, and it has a much better chance of staying upright and doing well. Now we're 6B just changed to 7A recently, so I am doing an experiment. I do have one that grew in the ground all season, this last season, and I'm gonna see if it makes it through the winter. We're gonna be right on the border because the lemon cypress tree really likes between 20 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And so 20, we have some days that dip below 20. It's gonna be sort of depend on the winter, but totally worth a try. Now, a couple other lemon cypress trees that you can try are the golden pillar, which also stays pretty narrow. Golden pillar, sounds like that, but that can get up to 20 feet tall. And the citriodora, I don't know if I said that right or not, but that type of lemon cypress can get 30 feet tall. So those are like, if you live in one of those zones 7 to 10 and you really want something significant in your yard, you could give one of those a try. But even this dwarf variety is adorable. And they really are quite pliable. I was thinking if I had to, I could, bend them the other way and put the little hanging Christmas ball the other direction to sort of weigh it down. But it seems like they will just respond to being gently floofed that way. And we want to keep the leader, if possible, that's in the middle. That one is the one that you're looking to sort of go straight. So you're going to focus on getting that part. I'm going to bend it back a little bit. Oh, I love that. And I think that these will do well. Now I am going to loosen these a little bit for the bags because I want to be able to get in here to water them. For the lemon cypress, they recommend that you water maybe once a week, a thorough watering. And you can tell I have a dish under this one. I tend to do my thorough watering from the bottom so that it just sops all that delicious water right up and is really thoroughly saturated. Lemon cypress do need a fair amount of sun. So we're talking 3 to 6 hours of indirect or morning sun to keep them happy. They really do prefer that. Now, when I did my window boxes, I have to admit, I cheated and they didn't have quite as much sun. They didn't grow quite as much, but they made it through the season. And boy, these really do give a lot of color in that bright chartreuse green. If you can get sort of a partial shady area, it's a good way to go. Look at how nice and straight these are all floofing into. They look like upright Christmas trees, not grump trees now. And we're just going to keep twisting. And of course, if you love the grump tree look, go for it. Now, while I was at Trader Joe's, I'm just finding so many good things there. The other thing that I couldn't resist was the frosted ferns. Isn't that beautiful? So, just like the lemon cypress tree, great price, $4.99. And it had a cute pineapple, oh my goodness, it's been a long day, pine cone in the center. I had gotten a frosty fern the other day at our local greenhouse for $7.99. No cute little pine cone in it either. So another really good possibility. Now, both of these plants are non-toxic to your cats, which for us is very important if we're going to be keeping them indoors. The cats actually don't really like citrusy smelly things. So although I love the scent of the lemon cypress, they're interested in it, but they don't love it. They're not like, ooh, we want to eat this up. They sniffed the frosty ferns, but they also didn't particularly seem interested. The other great thing that I saw when I was at Trader Joe's was they had little 2-inch poinsettias in. Oh my goodness. Those are so perfect if you are making some type of little arrangement that's planted in soil. Last year, I had an arrangement like that had a fern and one of these plants and an amaryllis bulb. But those 2-inch little poinsettias are perfect for adding in some color. In fact, Laura in Garden Answer, I want to say last week, had some that she stuck into her arrangements, and I went, oh, those are perfect. I had never seen them that small. So I did get one, and I'm going to show it to you. Isn't this adorable? Okay, so we know, however, that your poinsettias are toxic to animals, so that's why it was kept outside there so that the cats couldn't get it. But they've sprayed them with a little glitter. If you don't have to worry about little children or pets eating your indoor plants, this is a great way. I mean, we could do a little grouping here. Look at how cute this would be all in a little planter together, with the height differences and then the color. I love that. So keep that in mind. And they did have some white poinsettias like this too, I'm pretty sure, that were there, along with, you know, your larger sizes. But to me, this is just perfect for that bright red color. So I'm going to quickly just keep going here. I think I only have a few more trees left. Okay, here's the last one of the 9 that I got my hands on, and I will be going back to see if they have any more. Now I just have to keep them alive through the winter with that once a week watering and making sure that they get some sunlight or some grow lights. Remember that they will like the grow lights too. But don't give them any plant food, because you really want to try to keep them pretty small until the spring, because these, if you're going to use them in your planters, if you're going to use them in your window boxes, we want on the smaller side to make them more manageable. They will grow quite a bit over the season. So here's my whole little forest here on the table. I love this. Smells like lemons, and I hope that you find some good bargains of plants that you can put aside and sort of start to create a little bit of a stash as we work through the winter and we're waiting to get out in our gardens again. This is what keeps me going, planning and thinking of all the fun things that we're going to get to do in the spring. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.